A little pause to honor. To honor that hidden truth, our soul, that's buried deep within each of us, but is ever present. This is Teresa Phelps Martin coming to you from the Soulfully You virtual world to share a practice of embodiment, embodying your soul's wisdom, to articulate the truth, and to begin again. We have the energy of immutable air at a loud volume, considering we are coming out of a total eclipse, a solar eclipse, where the energy, the vitality, it's like the lights are turned off. And the esoteric practices of yoga, there's always this idea of it's an auspicious time. It's a time to go inward and close the blinds and not engage fully with the world or even with your practice. And I recently have always been triggered by that, believe it or not. I can still remember exactly where I was and the feeling that came over me from the inside when that idea was offered. It did not resonate. Instead, I've had and still believe it's the invitation to reset and recalibrate and renew your own intention. And just the other day, I heard a gentleman share, he does astrology, he does herbalism, Cameron is his name. He's an astrologer and yoga teacher and herbalist, I believe in Memphis, Tennessee. And he offered this idea of actually drawing the figurative shade to go inside and come to that internal connection, to feel into yourself. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to share a little bit of what I typically do behind the scenes, because the invitation to ritualize the sacred is an intention of mine, and to feel in to these layers of ourselves, to breathe the vitality into the depth of our being, so that the hidden messages, the wisdom of our soul can come forward and we can articulate our truth. It's not quite that simple, but each of you are given a soul's promise. Each of you are given where time stops for just a moment and there's a snapshot of what the bigger energy was at the moment you incarnated, the moment you came into this world. And it's profound and it's becoming popularized again, which is really exciting. However, I'm kind of taking a different spin with it, surprise, surprise. And I will be sharing with it. So if you're in the Facebook group, I have posted the little nudges of your soul, like where you could focus based on this journey. They're called horoscopes because we look, as astrologers, you look at to the zodiacal wheel, and that's the horoscope. And you look at the arrangement of the sky and how it aligns or resonates with your own personal alignment. That snapshot, that time stamp of the cosmos, of the heavens, of that moment you went from the womb into the world, where you were the catharsis, if you will. Any woman who's been through labor, or just ask your mom, if you can, what that was like at that moment. And no matter what, there's a transference of energy that radically changes life forever. So we want to do justice to the energy above and the energy below. And so anyway, I have Tootsie and Tony with me, and I'm just going to share this behind the scenes look at what I do So in lighting a light, we always call on the highest. I typically call on the 4 directions of the universe, the energy above and below, and invoke that divine ray of love and protection to draw a circle so that the circle can be receptive to the energy of the highest light, yet unbroken. We ignite the light. So I use matches, not a lighter, and patience. Ooh. And drop a grounding cord. That's what the light's telling me. I keep these hidden because they're a practice of vulnerability. Practices of vulnerability. We invoke the light. We honor the altar. I'm not sharing my altar. That is still private for me. This beautiful candle that was gifted to me is this new beginning, because this eclipse marks my birthday. And you actually shake the light out rather than blow it out. You bathe yourself in the light. I always do 3 times. And then when you place the candle back to the altar, you touch the altar, you touch your heart. In that, I'm going to call in blessings because I cleared yesterday. So using Palo Santo, you can use whatever. You can just light the candle. You can smell the freshness of flowers. You could drink a cup of water. But in putting the Palo Santo, or blessed wood, you could do incense. You could diffuse essential oils. You want to do a ritual that supports you. And once the flame ignites, we have elements. I do have water on my altar. And it's just a cleansing 3 circles. Clockwise when you're calling in blessings, and the energy around the heart, and actually the soles of the feet. And this is just here for you. Use it as you like. Don't use it. It's available to you. But say hello to that energy that's accompanying you. Say hello to that energy of light, of the highest light, and however it may be. Some people tend to, after that ritual, to draw a card. I draw one for each cycle, and I have that one that speaks to me. And so the hidden messages are the resilience, the guiding. So any health issues that are surfacing right now, listen to them. And I'm going to let you know that my back is so vulnerable. I have no idea how this practice is going to unfold today. So it is a hidden mystery to me. So the breath is our main guidance today. We are going to start in child's pose or face down. We're going to feel the nervous system supported, but the spine and the curves of the spine, the movement, the breath, the vitality, that which we exchange in, right? And that currency of our life is our breath. And everybody shares in the breath. So breathe with me, be with me, and let's do this. Either lying all the way on your belly or child's pose. And like I said, the mystery of this practice is still hidden to me because I can move if I'm vertical or all the way down, but after that, it's difficult. So here we go. Call on the highest light. Call on your highest self. There are tear marks on my mat from the pain I was in yesterday and the tears that came. However you begin, whether it's lying all the way down on your belly or in child's pose, I want you to begin with great reverence. Right, of remembering that vitality, your ability and the privilege to make it to your mat. Call on your breath. And we're going to, at 8 is our number today. And we're beginning a 19-year journey. We're beginning a 30-day journey. We're beginning a 2.5-year journey. We're beginning a journey of this moment, of this practice. So begin again and begin right where you are. Meet yourself, your soul, your being, where you are just as you are. 8 full connected breaths. You're going to inhale, stretch through your hands, draw into your core, rise up onto your hands and knees. So if you're on your belly, you're going to come onto your hands and knees. 8 breaths, 8 cat-cows, exhaling and inhaling. So feeling the rhythm of your breath and igniting with that breath. So you have to go inward, right? Receive the sounds of my voice. But listen more deeply to your own inner truth. And as we approach these last 3 breaths, last 3 cat-cows, just honor whatever's coming through. Maybe you're just scattered and there's an uncertainty, which is fine. Just surrender into the breath again. Breathe all the way in, breathe all the way out. We're not digging, we're creating this space to receive. You're going to come into a nice neutral spine, nice table pose. And in that table pose, toes tucked or untucked are up to you. You're just going to inhale the right arm forward, out to the side, and back. And it's going to sweep through. And as it sweeps through, feel that length through the side body. Inhale the right arm forward, all the way around to the side, and then sweep through. We're going through 8, and we're just actually creating space around us. 8 again. Really steady through those core lines of your body. Inhaling up through that center, and then exhaling, and then the movement follows the breath. Last one. And then bring your hand to your heart. Receive a little lulu love. And then you're going to twist to the left. So the right arm threads through. Widen the left arm. Look to the sky. Feel connected to the breath. That energy of the neck and throat and the lungs, the shoulders and the hands really matters right now. 5 more deep breaths here. Connect to the roof of the mouth, the diaphragm, the pelvic floor, the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, the inner thigh pits, and your armpits. completely drawn to the belly. Inhale up onto your hands and knees. Move the feet over to the left. And then we're going to sit all the way back. Right? So we're sitting on our right hip. Our knees move out to the side. Draw into the core. And twist. Easeful twist here. Just reorienting, right? So we twisted the upper body. Now we're twisting the lower body. Right hip is heavy. There's length. And 8 breaths here. Just feel the journey of the breath. The cycle of the inhale and the exhale. When you have a new mood, you're at the bottom of the breath. You're just starting the inhale. So we're just going through 8 to honor the infinite cycles of our life. But keep that alignment of the upper palate, the diaphragm, and the pelvic floor. Let the breath be a sweet whisper. Last 2 breaths. Inhale, come all the way back through the center and fold over the right knee. Draw into the core, bow. Yes, 8 breaths. But when we're there, we're going to make figure 8 circles with the head. This is so hard for me right now, just FYI. Or maybe just be in the stillness so you can receive the breath and the hidden messages. Notice the sounds you hear in the world around you. There's an intensity in the world. I got up early because that's when I can have my quiet time. And the birds were bonkers. It was so intense. There's an uncertainty, and in that uncertainty, we can get wound up. So exhale out and receive the certainty of your next breath. You have it right now. This is where I get stuck, you guys. Draw into the belly. You're going to inhale, come all the way up. And then we're going to twist again. So now you're going to turn to the right. Okay? Because my body clearly suggested I come here. Turn to the right. And really, we should be twisting, and so that the left elbow comes down and then the right elbow. Breathing into those 8 breaths here. So connect upper palate, diaphragm, pelvic floor. Feel the breadth of your breath. So breathe into the back of the ribs, the back of the lungs. Expanding into the wisdom of you.
Last 2 breaths, feeling the renewal, knowing that we're going to change and shift. If you find the silence too much, it's too intense, you can play music. Do something that works for you, that makes you happy. Okay, so bear with me as I figure out how I can slowly rise. Humor is really important. Okay, once you're upright, we're going to draw onto our hands and knees. Come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to go through 8 cat-cows again. Exhaling, rounding the back. And inhaling, opening. Just letting the breath lead the way. Listen to the dialogue, the narration that you're choosing to have in this moment. The words we speak hold volume. We can connect with one another through the breath. The last 2. And then inhale into a nice neutral spine. Find that table. So the neutral spine has curves. You know what? I can't even over curve one way, so I can't even show you. We don't want to be exaggerated. We want to be incredibly intentional, bearing witness. So you're going to feel the connection. Left arm lifts up. Realign just what needs to be adjusted, and then just the arm sweeps out. Inhale through the center. So that's one. It's like you're swimming through the space. We're creating the space for the messages to be revealed. We're clearing the spine, supporting the nervous system. Okay, 4 more. And then bring the hand to the heart. We're going to draw into the core. The arm's going to thread through. Head comes down. And then adjust. Keep the neck open. Keep it clear. Draw into the core. What are the hips doing? And then once you found yourself here, breathe into the offering 8 times. Breathe into the wisdom. Breathe into the hidden messages. It's not about liking the message, by the way, but receiving the wisdom, receiving the guidance, feeling into your being through the breath, connecting through the communication of your breath. Last 2. Exhale out completely. Look to the earth. Draw into the core. Find your hands and knees. Feet are going to move over to the right. And you're going to come seated on your left hip. Your hips are heavy, the spine's long, and feeling that link. So connect to the center first, and then orient yourself to the space around you. Reorient to your center as you inhale, feel the length, feel the volume, and then exhale, twist. And then again, reorient, right? Feel the connection. Support yourself for those 8 breaths. If you're feeling it catch in that right hip, you want to internally rotate the right leg more. And draw in more. Three more breaths here. And then inhale, come back through the center. You're going to find that length and fold over the left knee. And as you bow, bow with the breath, the connection to you. Maybe move the head or be still and receptive. There's a large volume of what needs to be released emotionally sitting inside the cells of every being. Some of us more than others, but it sits within each of us. Today's a great day to talk to those who you keep close. They're your soul family. They're the people that understand you and see you for who you are. They might actually be your physical earth school family. Exhale out completely. You're going to inhale and come all the way up. And then you're going to twist. I got to move on my mat so I can twist. You're going to find that length again, twist. Turning to the left, drawing into the belly. So feeling the length through the whole right side as your right arm comes down and then your left. Notice how I stretch the heart forward to keep that length. So that emotional intensity is coming from our psoas, our iliacus, and our psoas muscles that connect our spine to the earth, that connect the wisdom of our hearts into this physical embodiment, that connect the energy of our soul. So breathe around the heart, breathe into the depths. Invite the light into those hidden areas that feel stopped or hurt or blocked or limited. And as you exhale, release it down into the earth. She is here for us. If we nurture her and receive her support, then we can actually support her even more. Exhale out completely. You're going to slowly come up. Once you come all the way up, you're going to breathe in. Come onto your hands and knees. We're going to move in 8 cat-cows. And through those 8 cat-cows, then we're going to move into downward dog. I recommend an exhalation through the mouth. Just so you can clear out and awaken the potency of the breath, that which is the source to our life. Last few here. You're moving from the core and you're helping the movement of the diaphragm up and down, up to the roof of the mouth, down to the pelvic floor, out to the soles of the feet, and out to the palms of the hands. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees, tuck the toes. You're gonna draw in and lift up and back, downward dog. Big full breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, roll your hips to the right, bend them deep, draw them to the belly. Inhale up through the center, exhale, bend the knees. Hips move to the left, breathing into the right side. Go to each side, so we're gonna go to each side a total of 4 times. This mutable air energy rules the lungs, the arms, the shoulders, the hands. It's the way we reach out into the world and network. The messages beyond the mind. Inhale, come back through the center. You're going to walk your feet forward, draw into the belly. Find yourself in a standing forward bend. Inhale, find length. I'm going to use blocks. And then exhale, bow. The last thing I need to do is bend deeper into the vulnerability. Inhale, find length. So instead, allowing for vulnerability by calling on greater support. Yes, there's 8. 8 is our number. So we can really do the practice justice. We can do our breath and our body justice and help the mind be more in a witness energy to understand the system of our being and the way all the parts and pieces of ourself network with our soul, with our hearts, with our mind, with our body. As you exhale, bow. You're going to inhale, find length. We're going to step the left foot back. Lunge in. So we're going to go warrior 1. Lunge into the front knee. I'm using blocks to help out because there's a point of vulnerability that I won't be able to move. Your hands can be on the earth. You're lunging into the front knee. Then we're going to inhale and straighten the front leg. Exhale, lunge in. Draw into the core. Inhale, rise up. Thank goodness we know how to use our thighs. Hands are going to clasp behind us. Shoulders drawn to the back. Keep the core lifted, spine strong. Stretch into the back heel. So you feel this full connection through the upper palate. Notice how the diaphragm's torquing towards the left. So draw the outer left hip back, the outer left hip forward, outer right hip back. See, I'm getting wordy, and the message is to really just feel in. Then release your hands, inhale the arms up overhead. And if you like, you can find a little tiny side stretch here. So think of those domes of your being, right? That's where the arches are. So soles of the feet, behind the knees, inner thighs, pelvic floor, diaphragm, roof of the mouth, armpits, elbows, palms of the hands, your eyelids, your eardrums. Inhale, come back through the center. Draw the waistline back. Hands come down to the earth. You're going to spin the back heel up, bring the knee down to the earth. Come into that low lunge. Left hand can be on the floor or a block. Right hand to the knee. Pull the waistline in, shoulders to the back. Right arm lifts, throat's open. Yes, 5 breaths here. Slow, steady, deep breaths. Breathe fully into the wholeness of your being. exhaling into the earth. Okay, so you're going to draw into the belly. This may or may not be accessible to you. You're going to point the toes back. I should just walk around with blocks for the rest of the day. You're going to point the left toes back, and we're actually going to sit all the way back. You may need to sit onto a blanket, and if this does not work for you, what you're going to do is bring the sole of the left foot in and open the knee. But notice how I can't do that. I can do this though. All right, so be where you need to be. And now, if your sole of the foot, right, if you have more of a tree leg foot and your right leg's out, you're actually going to fold. Let's all fold forward. You're going to draw into the belly, find the length, and then fold forward. I don't know what Lulu is doing, but she is trying to get out. Oh, she's trying to get out the back door. We have chipmunks. As you exhale, exhale out completely. Inhale all the way out. If you have the sole of the foot in, stretch both legs out and you can just come into bridge pose. Otherwise, if you can be here, you're going to lean back. Okay? Bend the right knee and even out the hips. So this is just where I need to be. My mind wants to go deeper. My left thigh wants a bigger stretch. My low back says no way, and blankety blankety blank will we be able to get back up off the ground. So respecting the whole narrative, the entire story, including the areas of vulnerability, because the areas of vulnerability is where the hidden message resides. 8 breaths here. Lulu, my dog is going to destroy our brand new door. I gotta get her. And then inhale, come all the way up, right? So you're gonna stretch the leg out, find that support. Now what we're gonna do is move into pigeon pose. So you're gonna bend the right knee in, stretch the left leg back, come down to pigeon pose. I've gotta free my dog, because her soul is hungry for a chipmunk. And as you're in pigeon pose, if you haven't, you're going to enjoy those 8 breaths, okay? And then we're going to move into downward dog. So notice the flavor of this practice is about going into the deeper layers of ourselves. The mutable air tends to stay on the surface, but we are all recalibrating. We are realigning. And the ability to articulate our soul's truth is a huge message. Okay, lift the heels, bend the knees, roll your hips over to the left. Inhale through the center. We're going to go to each side 4 times. And I have to tell you guys, like, yes, if you feel any sort of empathy for me, thank you. If you have compassion, thank you. But don't feel sorry for me and don't feel bad for me. That doesn't help me out. But honestly, yesterday, when I could barely move, come back through the center, all I knew was to get on my mat. And I was so grateful to have these practices to restore my body that I had just cried. Yes, I'm tired of hurting. Yes, I'm tired of the most bizarre things turning up, but I also trust that my body's finally, I have an intention to release the trauma physically and emotionally. So I know this is part of my body releasing it, okay? And I also know what I'm inviting in more. So here we are, standing forward bend, 8 times. Inhale, find length, and exhale, bow. Inhale, find length, and exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. Feeling the flow of the breath. Your whole self is being supported right now. Our breath is always there for us. Inhale, find length, bend the knees. We're going to step back. Right foot. Okay, so we're going to go into that warrior one. Yes, there's a part of me that wishes I had done 7 of these pulses, but I didn't. So just draw up, realign, straighten the front leg, align that spine. So align from the pelvic floor. Okay, so you have 4 corners to your pelvic floor. Connect to those. Align to the diaphragm. Feel the sides of the ribs, the front of the ribs, the back of the ribs. Align to the upper palate. Feel the throat. And then we'll exhale, lunge forward. Slowly coming up. Hands are going to clasp behind you. Shoulders to your back. Honestly, it feels like an eclipse keeps happening in my low back. It's like the circuitry bleeps out and then it comes back in, and then it bleeps out and it comes back in. Being patient with yourself. Feeling the breath. Whew. Inhale the arms overhead. Find length, 8 breaths. And if you want that little side stretch, it's yours. This has been the salvation to my situation. From within, inhale, rise up. Exhale the hands all the way down to the earth. Spin the back heel up. Knee comes to the ground. Draw into the core. You're going to lean over into the right hand. Shoulders to the back. Draw in. Stretch the arm up overhead. Again, those 8 breaths. Feel this line here. Feel the connection. Drawing in deeply. Hand comes down, untuck the toes, hips are gonna move back. Remember, we're gonna move back, and maybe the foot comes to the inside of the leg. Maybe you sit all the way back for that 3-pointed Triangula Mukha, blah, blah, blah. I don't know the name. Not right now. And as you're there, feel the connection to you. We're gonna lift up and bow forward. So one thing that I want to say is so profoundly powerful of practicing in your own space, of being given this opportunity to always teach in the space that's actually reserved just for me, is that there's a build up, a residual energy of the potency and the rituals you're creating. And so by coming to our mat and the sanctuary of our own home, we're actually tending to the hearth and home of our physical being and inviting this depth of resetting and recalibrating right into the privacy of our home so we can actually go deeper. It is a home practice, but you're not alone, and it's so powerful. You're going to exhale out completely and inhale, come all the way out. Whatever forward bend you did is perfect. Then we're going to bend the knee. Maybe you come lying down and do bridge pose. Okay? You just free your leg out, bridge pose. Otherwise, you're going to bend your knee and lean back. Readjust. So I lift my hips up and realign my thigh bone. I don't try to hug my knee in. It doesn't really help me out. And find the length. This is really wild. I have more access. Like my low back says, okay, you can go all the way back. But I know that's just because we're building a new sense of trust, a new sense of connection. This sacral region of mine is an interesting one. It's where I hold a lot of anomalies, and that's fine. Right? Nothing wrong with it. I respect her and all that she's provided me. 8 breaths if you forgot, because we all forget. We're holding space, creating that space for that revelatory power. And things are very foggy right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's just the way it is. So we want to be patient, and that's the idea of these 8 breaths. We want to ground into our own resilience. Exhale out completely. You're going to inhale and come all the way out. And then we're going to shift into pigeon, right? So you could do that half-legged, a mini pigeon. My sweet Lulu is no longer obsessed and delusional about getting out the window to chase the cat or rabbit or squirrel or whatever it is. And she's much more at peace. There's a lot of illusional energy right now. So ask for what you want, but don't get too caught up in what you need. 8 breaths here. So you exhale out completely. We're going to move into downward dog, last downward dog, okay? Move up and back into your dog pose. Deep, full breath in. Just 8 breaths, being nice and steady. Feeling the blood flow to the brain and the mind. Feeling that inversion, the armpits are lifted, the inner thigh pits are lifted. But you're also hugging into that midline, so you're not just splaring out. You're holding, creating the container, creating the boundaries. We don't need to overindulge. We don't need to get addicted to the high of our spirituality or our practice or our soul. We still are earthly beings. So we want to just feel integration. Exhale either to your belly or all the way down to your hands and knees. And come back to where we began. Child's pose or Prema Bhumikasana, downward facing Shavasana. Eight breaths. Breathing into how expansive you are, how you've reached into hidden areas that were inaccessible when you first began. And now enjoying the accessibility, enjoying the connection, and breathing that vitality into these areas of you. And exhale out completely. If you're on your belly, just roll over to your back. Okay? If you're in child's pose, you're going to inhale up onto your hands and knees and just come lying all the way down, however you can. Bring a block with you or a bolster. I know I'm going to need this in just a minute. You're going to come lying all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Undo the hair, because guess what? It messes with the upper palate. Once you give yourself a little hug, we're just going to make 8 circles in one direction. If you'd rather do 8 breaths and happy baby, go for it. If you'd rather do twist from side to side 8 times, or 8 breaths on each side, go for it. I like to go counterclockwise first to release, and then clockwise to renew. And then you're going to bring your legs to the earth. I am going to put the block here and just be here. You might want to stretch your legs out. You might need a full stretch of the spine first, but come all the way to the ground. Bring your hands. You have this diamond, okay? You have your sternum, your hip points, and your pubic bone, okay? It could be even, I don't know, what is it, a trapezoid? Where you have pubic bone, hip points, base of the rib cage, sternum. Is that a rhomboid? 2, 4, 6, rhomboid? I don't know. Anyhow, I don't know the names of my geometrical shapes so well. But what I want you to do is feel this connection to this energy right here between your pubic bone and your breastbone. Okay, so your pelvic floor and your diaphragm. But I want you to breathe from the back of the upper palate to the back of the heart and along the spine without your belly moving. I know this is very sophisticated, but hey, it's me, your Gemini mutable air leader, who has a lot of connection to this eclipse energy to give us resilience and restore our vitality and reimagine our own feminine embodiment. So if you trust me, walk with me and walk with that just playfulness, that innocence, that relearning. 8 breaths here. Just listening. connection to your inhale and exhale, nothing more. So much more is happening, we're just not trying to figure it out. There's no problem to be solved. And then after those 8 breaths, just allow. If you are in this supported rest pose like I am, you can move the block and come like all the way down. I have a clear permission to stay here in my body. I can feel so much shifting in a subtle way through this whole region that's incredibly vulnerable right now for me. And leading with that vulnerability is what articulating the hidden messages is all about. Enjoy a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feeling all that renewed energy as you breathe and reconnect to this realm and this world. You're going to feel a little movement that serves you and supports you. Honor all the healing that you welcomed in deeply. How you allowed the breath into the hidden parts of you. And then as you reawaken, remind yourself of the light that is calling you forward. Return to the resilience of you. You're going to roll to one side. And then slowly come up into the comfort of your seat. It is not comfortable for me. And as you find the comforts of your seat, find yourself sitting into the wellness, into the wealth of your being. Feel that return to your own center. When we connect to the hidden truth, the hidden messages, when we go into the depths of our being and we allow for the energy of our vitality of our breath to recalibrate, to go into the darkness and her sacred depth and bring forward the wisdom, there is a great level of vulnerability in articulating that truth, of showing up in that authenticity, of respecting the integrity of your soul's wisdom and integrating it into our ego's expression. And as we all give birth to this brand new adventure, that we can celebrate and socialize with the mystery of what is still yet to be. Because we can be with the breath, we can be with the grandness, we can be with the hopes and dreams of our heart and soul. We can be with the sacred flame. We can find our warriorship through our wisdom. We can nurture the layers of ourselves and remother our own being, our own friends, our own families, our own children, our own mothers, and our own relationship to all things. And we can let go of the attachment to the old beliefs and welcome in a new relationship with this new energy reimagined to embody our whole self. And so it is. Namaste, 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 namo, namaha. May you hold peace in your home, in your heart, and in your life. Namaste. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And as it continues to unfold, breathe, and just know that there's this peace that you've connected with within. So seal that energy in, right? So we'll call in the north, the south, the east, and the west, the energy above, the energy below. We'll bring down a divine ray of love and protection. And may that circle be unbroken, but able to receive that which supports us and guides us. Thank you for doing this with me. Whenever you did it, whenever it is, if we went through the lunar gestation, we've got the next 9 months to really feel, maybe even 10 months. It's going to be March of 2022 before the clarity of this journey comes through. And I'll tell you right now that the past 19 years and understanding what that story was and how it influenced my life hasn't come fully clear until most recently. And so it's really this kind of bridging of what was and what will be. And I hope you'll continue to be with me. So straight from my heart to yours. Much love and gratitude. And now I'm going to wobble my way over. It is going to be something. I feel ease in my body now until I move. I think it's my body trying to have me not do so much. So deep, deep bow of reverence and peace to each of you. And I thank you.